occasionally. There is a copy of the front door PowerPoint that was sent to you via email. So there were a few different links you want to look at. One is this PowerPoint. One is another information about care coordination organizations that we will go over during this meeting. And I believe there's a couple more on just basic information about OPWDD. So please look at your email if you can't see our screen right now. I think this is a glitch sometimes for people that may be using their phones and linking with this meeting that way. So I'm going to wait a little bit longer for some more people to join. In the meantime, if you look at the bottom right-hand corner, you'll see a question and answer box. Everyone is muted because we have several people on the call, so we can't unmute people to discuss. But you can ask questions in the Q&A at the bottom right corner. We do have 3 different people answering questions. So you should get your question answered. There are a lot of questions sometimes about attendance. So please understand that if you registered and you linked up via internet, via the link that says join this event, you automatically get put on a spreadsheet with all your information that is tracking your attendance, and we have that information. All you have to do is jot down when you attended this information meeting. So in the future, we are just going to ask if you attended, yes, no. So we won't need any special, thing from you as far as that goes. But you will get a thank you email anyway that you can keep and print out or whatever you want to do if you have a record of things. So just so you know, I will also give Kelly Smith from our office, I'll give her information at the end. If you are a call-in user, you're going to have to call her or email her and let her know that you did attend this meeting. So I'll give you her information at the end. The other thing is we will give numbers for all the different counties, front door offices at the end of this information session. That's also on the PowerPoint too, though. So if you're not sure what to do at the end of this meeting, you can always call your local front door office, but we will go over what to do next after this meeting. All right, so it's about, 5 after 10, so we'll get started. Let me just check to see if anyone else is trying to get on that isn't able to. Okay, so.
Okay, let's start.
Front door, access to services. Welcome. What is the purpose of this information session? The front door information session tells you about OPWDD's mission and vision, the process to become eligible for OPWDD supports and services, the types of OPWDD supports and services available, the process for applying for those services, and where you can go to get help. What is OPWDD? The New York State agency that authorizes services for over 138,000 people in New York State who have intellectual or developmental disabilities. Helps people with developmental disabilities live richer lives in the most integrated community settings possible. Services are provided by hundreds of nonprofit agencies across New York State that OPWDD certifies and regulates, and by OPWDD. Care coordination organizations, or CCOs, assist most people with the coordination of their services. does OPWDD serve? Individuals with developmental disabilities. Number 1 is a condition that occurs anytime from birth until the age of 22, including intellectual disability, cerebral palsy, epilepsy, neurological impairment, autism, familial dysautonomia, and Prader-Willi syndrome. Number 2, the condition is expected to be permanent. And number 3, the condition affects the person's ability to function in society. What is the front door? OPWDD's front door is the way OPWDD connects people to the services they want and need, based on the idea that people with developmental disabilities have the right to enjoy meaningful relationships, experience personal growth, participate in their community, and live as independently as possible with supportive services. A way to help people make choices about their services and how they are provided. Steps in the front door process. Determining your eligibility for OPWDD services. Identifying the supports and services you need. Developing your life plan or service plan. And authorizing your supports and services. So depending on the services requested, you may need to apply for Medicaid and apply to enroll in OPWDD's Home and Community-Based Services Waiver, also known as the HCBS waiver. The front door process helps you with many choices you will need to make. Choices about the care coordination organization you will work with, and the type of care coordination you want, the types of services you need, whether to self-direct your services or not, which available agencies you would like to deliver your services. So the first step in this process is OPWDD eligibility. Some of you may have already started this, but this is the first step, so we'll go over how this works. So the first step in getting OPWDD services is getting a determination of OPWDD eligibility. The eligibility determination process is the way OPWDD decides if someone has a developmental or intellectual disability and is eligible for OPWDD supports and services. 1, you must establish eligibility to access OPWDD services. 2, your eligibility review begins at your local developmental disability regional office or DDRO. And 3, your care manager or other advocate will help you gather and submit materials and records to the DDRO. So at this point, the care coordination organizations are the way that you will be submitting documentation to our OPWDD eligibility office. We'll talk more about the CCOs. Number 4, the eligibility coordinator at your local DDRO will need the following information to determine if you or your loved one are eligible for services. Number 1, a full psychological report. 2, a social developmental history or psychosocial report. 3, a medical specialty report. 4, supporting documentation showing that you, the individual, became disabled before age 22. Also, an assessment of adaptive skills, and depending on your condition any specialty assessments. So to take a minute, this is kind of an important slide. You want to take a screenshot or something. Basically, a full psychological report, many of you know already, a school psychologist or licensed psychologists are the main people that create these reports that could be IQ testing, or also in letter E, where it talks about the adaptive skills testing. So the school psychologists we rely on heavily to create those if your child is in school or your loved one. If they're not, a licensed psychologist is also able to do that testing. And then the medical specialty report is basically a physical within the last year. Okay. Also, C, the process for determining eligibility may involve more than one step to ensure that every person receives a fair review. And D, sometimes provisional eligibility is given to a child who is younger than 8 years old. Okay, so we're going to switch over now to identifying the supports and services you may need. Excuse me. Okay, so once your eligibility to receive OPWDD services has been determined, number 1, the front door staff will talk to you about your current needs, strengths, and natural and community supports available to you. You will participate in 2 assessments, the Developmental Disabilities Profile 2, and if you're 18 years of age or older, the Coordinated Assessment System, or CAS. Number 3, OPWDD will also consider your culture, language, and life experiences to ensure you have the help you need to identify your service needs and the right assistance to develop a person-centered plan that meets your needs and interests. As you are going through the front door process, you should think about, number 1, your strengths, 2, goals you want to achieve, 3, changes you'd like to make in your life, 4, areas where you need help to complete everyday activities, 5, your medical history, 6, how often you see medical and behavioral health professionals, 7, your current supports. So, the next section is about supports and services. Okay, we'll talk today about what are supports and services, how do you choose what's best for you, what supports and services does OPWDD provide, how do you plan for them, how are they coordinated, and how are they funded. As you hear about supports and services, remember that supports and services include help from family, friends, neighbors, and the community, referred to as natural and community supports. 2, think about the choices you or your family member need to make about where you want to live and what you want to do with your day. OPWD supports can help you learn how to get along with people, manage different situations, be a self-advocate, find ways to get places in the community, go places with less help, take part in activities you're interested in, and enjoy your free time doing activities you choose.
Later.
Okay, so
Yes, we're gonna go
your
afternoon.
supports and services.
And Lily coming, okay?
You can choose the mix of supports, services, and providers that meet your needs. You can choose to get your services in different ways. Through self-direction, directly from not-for-profit agencies, or a mix of agency-provided services and self-direction. Self-direction. Self-direction gives you and your family the power to decide which support services and not-for-profit agencies fit your needs. Self-directed services give you more control, flexibility, and independence in your life. You can self-direct some or all of your services. If you're interested in self-direction, you will need to attend a self-direction information session. Number 2 is agency-provided services, also known as traditional services. Services you need are provided by a not-for-profit agency, and you will have more or less control over the services you choose depending on the type of services. And number 3 is the mix of services, which you can choose to purchase the services you need using a combination of self-directed and agency-provided services. The types of supports and services are services in the community, there's employment services, there's housing, there's intensive behavioral services, there's crisis services for individuals with intellectual or developmental disabilities, and there's clinical services. So we're going to start with the first service, which is called Community Habilitation, or ComHab. Community habilitation staff help you learn and keep the skills you need to live safely and more independently. Maintain or improve your health, work toward other personal goals, meet people and make and keep friends, take part in community activities, be part of your community. And B, Community Hab is provided at home and in the community, and it can be either self-directed or agency-sponsored. Sorry, hold on a second. Oh, excuse me. Okay. Day habilitation is the second service, also called Day Hab. This is for an adult service, so after graduation. A helps you learn and keep the skills you need to live safely and more independently, participate in the community activities, identify your interests, develop your talents and skills, make and keep friends, learn basic life skills, and be a valued member of your community. Day Hab also takes place at a set location or within the community. And respite is another support. This is also for children and adults. It gives caregivers needed breaks. It helps family who care for their loved ones in the family home, even if the individuals have more serious health or behavior needs. And C, kinds and locations of respite services you can get are in-home respite, there's camp respite, there's recreational, and there's site-based respite. There's also something called Family Support Services, or FSS. Helps families who care for their loved ones in the family home, provide individuals with recreational and social activities, provide families and caregivers with needed breaks, training and moral support, sibling services, parent-to-parent networking, and supports in times of crisis. And 3 can include after-school or vacation respite, in-home respite, and weekends and overnight respite. Individuals can access FSS services as soon as they are OPWDD eligible. So in other words, before you apply for Medicaid, when you get your OPWDD eligibility, these services are, able to be accessed. The next one is called Environmental Modifications and Adaptive Technologies. Environmental modifications are changes in the person's home. Adaptive devices are communication aids and adaptive devices, including feeding, dining, and meal preparation, as well as other tools to help you live as independently as possible. And then there's van modifications, which can also meet specialized transportation needs.
สิบเบลซ้อยก่อนติ้งกินแล้วเหรอโอ้ยบ่หันคนเดียวเนาะ
Another adult service after graduation or supports for work. So OPWD can help you get and keep a job based on your skills, interests, and job availability. When you have a job, staff will help you learn the job tasks and adjust to any job changes. Work collaboratively with coworkers and supervisors, and learn the social and communication skills needed to be a quality employee. As you develop new interests and learn new skills, employment staff will support your career development. Employment services include Pathways to Employment, which helps you develop a plan for employment success, and it's a time-limited service. Number 2 is Supported Employment, or SEMP. It gives you the supports you need to get and keep a paid job in the community. There's also Employment Training Program, or ETP, which helps you to learn a job initially as an intern. And then there's Community Pre-Vocational Services, which help you get ready to work, and is usually in a group setting similar to DayHap. Next section is about housing supports. Again, for individuals graduating after high school, they can qualify for housing supports. So OPWDD offers housing supports and services based on your goals and needs. Some people think that only individuals with milder disabilities are able to live independently in the community, but people with more complicated disabilities are also successfully living independently in their own homes and apartments or house with the right supports and services. The housing supports include, number 1, housing subsidies, funds to help you, the individual with IDD, pay for rent and utilities in your own home in the community. Housing subsidies are only available to help individuals live independently. Number 2 is a family care home, which is a community-based housing in a private family home approved by OPWDD. The family care program offers you a caring and stable home in a family setting. There's also community residential homes called IRAs. They provide room, board, and individualized supports in a home-like atmosphere where you can gain the skills necessary to live as independently as possible. And some people who live in IRAs, which are called individualized residential alternative, need help 24/7 to meet their medical and behavior needs. Other people who live in IRAs need less support. Next service is called Intensive Behavioral Services. So this is a short-term, about 6 months program that focuses on behavioral support strategies for people whose behavioral issues put them at risk of placement in more restricted residential settings like a group home or hospital. Teach individuals, family members, and other caregivers how to respond to challenging behaviors. To be eligible for IBS services, you must live in your own home, your family's home, or a family care home, and you must be enrolled in the Home and Community-Based Services waiver. There's also crisis services for individuals with intellectual and/or developmental disabilities. This is a community-based program that provides crisis prevention and response services to individuals with intellectual and developmental disabilities who have complex behavioral and mental health needs, and families and others in the community who provide support. This offers training, consultation, therapeutic services, and technical assistance to help individuals remain in their home. There's also clinics. OPWDD is not a primary provider of medical services, but does operate clinics with limited services. Excuse me. Okay, so now we're going to switch gears to planning your services. Person-centered planning. OPWDD and care managers use the person-centered planning process to help you identify and understand your strengths, skills, and interests, the keys to success in being an active and independent member of your community. Person-centered planning helps you focus on your abilities and interests, and identify your needs and wants. A, what's important to you. B, how you want to live, and C, how OPWD can provide the supports and services to help you get there. Okay, so we're gonna jump into the coordination of services and care management. Many people do ask what to do next after this front door information session, and you are going to call one of these care coordination organizations to start the process of submitting your eligibility packet, and from there, coordinating your services. So you have been given a CCO, basically a list of several different CCOs in your area. That was a link that was given to you. If you don't see that link or can't connect with it in the email that you got, we will be giving numbers out at the end for your local county office, so you can call them and get that information. That will be the next step. So we're going to go into what is coordination of services. Coordination of services is helping people choose the services that meet their needs, decide what agencies they want to provide their services, make sure they are getting the services they're supposed to get, decide if their services are meeting their needs, decide when they want to change their services, make the changes they want. Why care management? Care management is required in order to get some OPWDD services, and it is required to ensure individuals who enroll in OPWDD's Home and Community-Based Services waiver receive the right services and supports. And it is a good idea to make sure you get the supports and services you need. The care managers work for care coordination organizations. The care managers are professionals who provide care management and help you coordinate your services. What are CCOs? Organizations formed by providers of developmental disability services to provide care management services. You choose the CCO you want from at least 2 CCOs in your county. So again, that link that was given in your email, one of them talks about CCOs, and you will see your county area on the map that is given and what number for at least 2 different CCOs. Mostly, some people have 3 or 4 different CCOs in their county area, so that is going to be the next step if you haven't connected with a CCO yet after this meeting. Okay, so in the OPWD system, you can choose the type of care management you want. There's health home care management services or basic home and community-based plan support. CCOs have staff who can assist with OPWD eligibility and Medicaid applications. CCOs will help you identify the services you need and the agencies that will provide them. CCO staff will work with you after you are approved for services to manage your services, making sure you have staff and that you get your services the way you're supposed to. CCO staff will meet with you regularly, help you decide when changes are needed, and help you make the changes. So these are the 2 different plans to choose from. As you can see, the Health Home Care Management Plan coordinates several different services that you may have, including OPWDD supports and services, coordinating access to behavioral health services, coordinating access to medical and dental services, identifying community-based resources, using technology to link services, connects your care providers, and takes the burden of navigating systems from families. And then the basic home and community-based services plan support only coordinates OPWDD supports and services. Okay, the next section is about funding, supports, and services. How are OPWDD services paid for? By the New York State and the federal government. Most services are provided through the Home and Community-Based Services Waiver, Medicaid waiver, paid for by New York State and the federal government, also referred to as the HCBS waiver. To get HCBS waiver services, you need Medicaid and you need to enroll in the HCBS waiver. Individuals under the age of 18 may be eligible for Medicaid without considering parental income, which is called parental deeming. You do not need to enroll in Medicaid or the HCBS waiver to get state-funded services, such as family support services. And 3, you can have other insurance coverage and still apply for Medicaid. What's next? You're going to talk to your local OPWDD regional office, and or if you're interested in self-direction, attend a self-direction information session. For additional information, we also have our website at opwdd.ny.gov. Okay, so again, the main thing a lot of people ask is, what do we do next? Okay, first, you do know when you attended the session. You don't have to have any verification of attendance other than the fact that you know when you attended, what date, because we are automatically tracking your attendance when you sign up and into this meeting. Because of the WebEx technology, we can link your name right to a spreadsheet, and it's really convenient for anyone looking to verify that you've attended this. So please don't worry about that. You can jot down what date you went, and keep it in your records. And then the next step is connecting with a care coordination organization, as we said previously. So again, look at your emails. You will get a thank you email in a couple hours after the end of the session. That email will also have all the links. So if you're not sure what I'm talking about, you will get all the links to the CCO parent information. It will have several different, I think there's 6 or more CCOs to choose from, but in your area, your county, you'll see it on a map. So you'll find what area your CCOs are in, and you'll call that intake number. Someone will call you back. In the local area, it's an intake number for your area, so they will get your information and move forward from that. So you'll definitely want to do that after the session. Connect with a CCO, and they're the main connection between you and OPWDD. So the eligibility packet that you will eventually be sending in will go through the CCO that you connect with. So in the meantime, you can get your school records, your psychological evaluations from your school social worker. You can get updated physical. Those things are important. If there's any other medical specialty reports, you can start gathering that information. That will be needed for OPWDD eligibility. And in the meantime, a CCO will get back to you, and you can start the process of enrolling, and doing the eligibility process. So I'm going to just quickly read off our local offices so that if you don't, for some reason, get any of this information later on, or you haven't gotten it in an email, you can ask your local county for the listing of CCOs or any other information that you're needing. I do just want to point out that this is a lot of information. If this is the first time you're kind of just starting at the beginning, please don't feel like you have to absorb every single thing that I just said today. It is a lot of information. And everyone else that you talk to, including the CCO, the Care Coordination Organization intake specialist, including anyone that you call from your local OPWDD front door office, everyone knows the steps that you need to get your loved one OPWDD eligibility. If you don't have the exact information, there's many people that can respond and let you know anything really that you need to know. If we don't know, we try to find out. So again, I hope you're not overwhelmed with the information, because that's not the point of this meeting. It's just sort of a overview of steps of what's available. So it's supposed to be helpful information session. So anyway, I'm going to read off quickly. Well, first of all, if you did not register via WebEx and you did just call in to the meeting and did not register yet, I will give you Kelly Smith, our office assistant, who will track your attendance via, the call-in users. You do not need to email her if you've gone through the internet. So I will give you her contact email, which is Kelly with an I, KELLI, .L like lion, .Smith, SMITH, and that is at opwdd.ny.gov. And so that is how you will let her know that you did attend this meeting if you were a call-in user. So let's see. I'm going to see. I know there's probably some cute questions and answers happening still. Okay, so I'm just going to read off your local offices. So this is going to take a while. If you have all the information you need and you're good to go, you're free to hang up at this point. Thank you very much for your time and for attending this information session. If you want to hang on and wait for your regional county office number to be shared, you're welcome to stay on for that. Otherwise, have an awesome weekend, and thank you so much for coming today, and all the best. So the first area I'm going to read is the Capital Taconic region. This serves all these counties I'm going to list now, which is Albany, Columbia County, Dutchess, Fulton, Greene, Montgomery, Putnam, Rensselaer, Saratoga, Schenectady, Schoharie, Ulster, Warren, and Washington counties. So if you're in any of those counties and you still feel like you're not sure what to do next, you may call your local office number, which is 518-388-0398. If you're needing to call the Hudson Valley Regional Office, the counties that are in that area are Orange, Rockland, Sullivan, and Westchester. That number is 845-947-6390. Again, this is just if you don't know what to do next or you have any questions. The next area is the southern tier, which includes Broome County, Chenango, Delaware, Otsego, Tioga, and Tompkins. That number is area code 607-771-7784. The Central New York area covers these counties: Cayuga, Cortland, Herkimer, Lewis, Madison, Oneida, Onondaga, and Oswego. So if you're in any of those counties and you need more information, you can call 315-793-9600, and that's extension 603. There's also the North Country number, which covers Clinton, Essex, Franklin, Hamilton, Jefferson, and St. Lawrence. That number is 518-536-3480. Long Island, covering Nassau and Suffolk counties, you will call 631-434-6000. Again, that's only if you need more information for next steps. And then there's the New York City numbers, which are 5 different numbers for each borough. So I'll read those off now. For Queens, the number is 718-217-6485. For Brooklyn, it's 718-642-8576. And Manhattan is 646-766-3220. And the Bronx is 718-430-0757. And Staten Island is 718-982-1913. Then we have the Finger Lakes and Western New York area. So that covers the counties of Chemung, Livingston, Monroe, Ontario, Schuyler, Seneca, Steuben, Wayne, Wyoming, and Yates. So that area, that number is, for any of those counties, is 855-679-3335. And then there's Western New York, which covers Allegheny, Cattaraugus, sorry, that's probably not right, Chautauqua, Erie, Genesee, Niagara, and Orleans. So that number is 800-487-6310. Okay, so I think I gave all those out. I hope that everybody got what you needed from this information session today. And thank you for attending. If you're still waiting for your questions to be answered, you can stay on. People are still working on answering the questions in the Q&A box. If you are done, please feel free to hang up, and thank you so much for attending today. Have a great weekend.
มาแล้ว